Just trying to be real authentic. I like to rock a watch, but the hands don't tick. Keep up.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Dave Craves Kitchen. So today we're going to be making coconut almond yogurt. And I'm going to go through the steps on how to make the coconut almond yogurt. So I have almonds here that I soaked for 24 hours in water and drained them out. You want to soak your nuts in water. You want to soak your nuts because there's enzyme inhibitors in these nuts that try to keep the nut from getting digested. So if something in the wild eats it, it might have a chance of surviving and growing into a tree. So when you soak it, it kind of starts the sprouting process, and it kind of activates the nuts in another sense too, and it rehydrates the nuts, so there's more water content in the nuts, so they're also easier to digest, because the more dehydrated food that you eat, the more dehydrated you will become. And so I'm going to open this up, and we're just going to start with a cup of almonds. So 1 cup, we're going to put that in the blender. Boom. And then what I did was I drained out the water of this coconut right here. So this is 1 water of the coconut. But I wanted to show you how I did it. So I have a cleaver right here. You can use like a machete or another knife if you have it, but I feel like this is going to be the easiest for people. So you take it with the cornered edge like this, and you just hit it like that all the way around, and you really just use your wrist. You don't need to like whack it really hard. You can just use your wrist and kind of just, you know, and then once you get it, you kind of twist up, so like that, and it will twist up the top, and then you can drain out the water. And then to get this open, getting them open all the way is a little bit harder. I like to set it down like this. I'm going to take these off just in case. I don't know how sturdy this table is. I usually use my counter. I'm actually going to take all this off. I don't want anything bad to happen. So this is a little bit harder to do, and if you don't want to do this, you can always try to scrape the meat out with a spoon, but it's a little harder to do that way. So just take it, again with the wrist, you're gonna wrist it down, and hopefully get it open within a couple hits. So here we go. So that was 1, and then I should be able to just pry it open. All right. And then you can see the meat in there. So another thing I wanted to share was this meat is very, very thin. This case of coconuts, all the meat has been very thin. I've had a lot of water and less meat, but that's fine. You just have to use more meat than if you want it to be more coconut. So then I have this little Cocoa Buddy. You can get these online on Amazon. It's just literally like a knife, a plastic knife that's bendable. It like bends. So it's really easy to get out the meat from the coconuts. Like that. And then you just get all the wood chips off. If I had a sink nearby, I would use that. So yeah, this is really easy to do once you get the hang of it. And it just takes some time though. But I don't mind doing it at all. It's kind of fun to do it. And it's also fun to know that you can make your own food in like a really, really healthy way that is really, really tasty. And you can get these coconuts at Whole Foods if you want to pay a lot of money, or Sprouts or something like that if you want to pay $2 to $4, or not $2 to $4, like $3 to $4 a piece. You can get them from there. But what I do is I go to the Asian market, and at the Asian market, they are $16 for a case of 9. So it's under $2 a piece for that. So I think that is going to be a better deal. So what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to weigh out exactly the amount, okay, so here it is. So the cup of coconut meat is always different. The coconuts are not made equally. So this meat is pretty thin. This one actually right here isn't bad. This is actually perfect for like coconut yogurt. But But the thing is that sometimes it's up to like a 1/4 inch thick. And if it's a 1/4 inch thick, 1 cup of that meat is going to be a lot more, especially a lot more calories than 1 cup of this meat. So what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to weigh it out and then measure it so you guys can get the exact recipe, because a lot of people online, they don't account for the variables, I guess you could say, with like fruits and vegetables. There's always variables, and the only way to get it right is to weigh it out. And even in that case, you know, some bananas are sweeter than other bananas, some tomatoes are more salty. So when you're making recipes, you're really just basing it off of the produce that you have, and I think that's something that is good to remember. So I'm going to turn on my scale here, and make sure it's tared out, 400 grams, perfect. I'm going to add the coconut meat. So we have 189 grams of coconut meat. And this is honestly from 3 coconuts. You can usually use the meat, oh, sorry, Charles. You can usually use the meat from 2 coconuts, and that's going to be enough. But this was like very, very skinny meat, I guess you could say. So 189 grams. Let's put it into the cup here. So I'm going to pack this solid. So there's about 1 cup right there going in. There's a 1/2 cup going in, so 1 1/2 cups. So we're going to keep this even, and I'm going to do another 1/2 cup of almonds. Personally, I like to do equal amount almonds and coconut. So there we go. And then the coconut water is tricky. So right now we have 3 cups in here. So I'm going to do 1 cup to start of water. I might add more. But you don't want to add too much, because you don't want it, I mean, you can always add more almonds or get more coconut meat, but you don't want it to be too runny. You kind of want it thick, and where like when you scoop it out, it'll like stick to your spoon. So I'm just going to add, I'm actually just going to add a 1/2 cup first. I'm going to just pour half of this in, because this coconut meat's a lot more runny than usual, so I don't want it to be too runny, like I said. And then we're going to blend it. And so the reason why I use coconut water is because once you add in the probiotics, which, hold on a second, it's right here. I'll show you guys my filming setup after this. It's kind of ridiculous. I need a tripod really bad. Okay, so I got the Pure Dime Life Biotic. I was just using regular Ultimate Flora probiotics that I got from Sprouts, or you can get from Whole Foods. I just wanted to try this because Lou Corona has been in raw food for 40-something years, and it's his brand, and I like to promote, or not promote, purchase things from people that I want to support, and I think they're doing good. And I hear that they pray over every batch of all their supplements, so I'm really into that. I think that your thoughts and what you think can really change how the food affects you, and if it's really, really good. So, but first, oh yeah, so what I was saying is you need some sugar in there. There is some sugar in the almonds and the coconut, I believe. I know the coconut for sure, I'm not sure about the almonds. But you want a little bit of sugar so these probiotics have something to eat, and then they can like proliferate and make more. And go from like, this is like billion, like 15 billion goes to trillions. And then when it's in your food, there's fiber in there, and so it eats that. It's kind of like the food for the probiotics. And then when you just take this and you eat it, a lot of times this doesn't make it all the way through your intestinal tract, because they're just tiny little organisms and they can't make it. When you put it in food, they stay in the food and they get passed through the intestines a lot deeper. So you go a lot further down when it's food. So if you're eating probiotic foods like kimchi and making yogurts, you're going to get a lot more benefits than just taking the pill or anything like that. I feel like that's like, take the pill, you know? For all those women out there, don't take the hormone pills. Just get your guys to not be assholes, so you don't have to take birth control, and just be safe, please. Just, the hormones are not good for you. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna blend this on low just to see where we're at, and then we'll go up from there. Okay, so definitely gonna add the rest of the water. I thought I would have to, I just didn't want to do anything crazy. That's pretty good. Still a little thinner, actually, than I wanted it, but it'll be fine. As you can see, it takes a pretty high-speed blender for this to work out the best. I'm gonna grab a jar, and I'll show you what's up. Okay, so. And the cool thing about weighing it out, and actually if I would have weighed these almonds out instead of just using a cup, I can get the exact calories. And so what I've been doing, the reason why I've been making nut yogurts instead of just coconut yogurt or no yogurt at all, one is for the probiotics, but another thing is I'm trying to build muscle and gain weight. I've always been very skinny, I'm still very skinny, but I just want to use raw food and gain lean muscle while I'm eating a mostly raw vegan diet. And I feel like if I'm going to add in a calorie source that's dense, I'd rather want it to be these nuts and seeds than anything else. Anything cooked, or just eating more fruit, which you can do, and you don't need more fat and protein to be healthy, but it's just something that I decided to do. And so if you're following a low-fat diet, maybe just make the coconut yogurt and then use that in moderation. But for me, I don't find an issue with raw fat at all, and I think most of the raw foodists that add in healthy fats look a lot more young when they're older. Their skin looks better, less wrinkly and all that stuff. And I'm kind of vain, so I'm into longevity in the looks, not only in the inside. So I want the best of both worlds. So I'm going to blend this up just a little bit more because I'm a freak. Here we go. Okay, that's good. Alright, I'm going to do one more thing. Sorry guys. Alright. Spatula. So, next you take the probiotics. You take the little scooper that's in there, or you take one of the little pills that you get, and you just open the pill up. You don't put the whole capsule in there. You just open the pill up and then dump it in there. And now I'm just going to pulse it for one more second to get it mixed up. Boom. And then you pour it out. So yeah, this is a little more runny than I wanted it, but it's not going to be bad. And normally I would scoop all this stuff out, but what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just make almond yogurt next, so I have it. Because I don't really like just eating nuts, or I could make almond milk, but if I'm going to eat nuts, I'm going to make it in a yogurt and then add it into smoothies or salad dressings or anything like that. So I'm just going to leave this in here and make some more. But then what you do, there's a couple options. So you can put the cap on there very lightly, boom, just so nothing gets in there. Leave it on the counter for 4 to 6 hours. It's going to culture. You have yogurt for the next 3 days. Or you can twist the cap on tight, not too tight so you can't get it off, and then put it in the fridge and then wait 1 day to 3 days, and it's going to be a longer, slower culture. And I don't know too much about this yet in the difference. I haven't researched it, but Dan McDonald talks about it, and it makes sense. It makes sense to me. And I just know that those are the two ways to do it. I'm sure there's other ways to even do it where literally, if you just put it in your fridge and wait 4 hours, I'm sure you're still going to get benefits from it. But this one I'm going to cap up and put it in the fridge. I just want to kind of see what happens. And what I do is I write the date on there on a little like piece of tape or whatever, and then I usually write something positive like peace or love or unity or, you know, something sappy like that will infuse the energy of that word into it as well. So yeah, guys, that is coconut almond yogurt. Hopefully I explained everything really well. It's pretty easy to do. Once you kind of get the hang of things, I think it's something fun to do too. So I hope you guys learned something, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Let me show you my setup here quick. So I had this. This is just my kitchen table. And then when I turn this around, literally I had my banana stand, and it's just sitting in between these two avocados, like pressed in between them like this. So it was, so it would stay up. But yeah, cool guys. Thank you. I will see you later.